New videos every day.
This is Athena Jezik, and today we're going to demonstrate a little work on a pregnancy massage, or how to handle working the muscles on somebody who is pregnant. There are some caution areas. One is you don't want to work the sacrum with a lot of pressure at all. In fact, it's best just to stay away from it. Going right up to it is fine, but you don't want to work deeply into the sacrum at all. You don't want to work on the stomach necessarily. Sometimes there's some techniques that can be done, but that should be done with more training. And the other area that you don't want to work on is right around the heel, the back side of the heel, where the ankle bone, where those bones stick out in that area behind there. That's another area that you do not want to work with any amount of pressure. And I just choose to stay away from those areas. And so we just apply oil, and in the case of pregnancy, it's better to use an oil that doesn't have fragrance. And I'm using an olive oil. It's an olive oil that actually comes from Spain, so it's a little bit different quality than what we have here. Olive oil is nice to use on the body. And here I'm just checking out some of the muscles to make sure of the tension and any tightness. Okay. And because they're on their side, it makes the work a little bit different, but you still do follow pretty much the same lines of the muscles, just having to take the work to the side. So I usually start out with the shoulders. Pregnant women give so much. Their bodies are working so hard to support the life going on. So it's good to have times to just relax and spend time taking care of mom. Again, we're just going to go up through the trapezius area. And of course, I just work where the muscles are tight. I follow a routine, a loose routine. Always go back to that if there's problems. So getting into the shoulders and under the shoulder blades, and then I'll be working myself down the spine. And here I like to get in where the attachments are and kind of pick it up the way that I do when people are lying on their stomach. And just staying on this side of the bone, don't get onto the bone, the vertebrae, and work down. Now here we're getting down into that sacral area, so just follow that hip crest and stay away from the sacrum. And in here, oftentimes there's a lot of strain from just the weight change, the center of gravity that changes. So it's a good idea to spend a little bit of time to make sure the muscles here are all worked out. There's no knots coming in or no tension. And again, there's the sacrum, so we're far enough away from it. And you can feel a little bit of knotting up. And then back up to the shoulder area, looking into the shoulder blade, making sure that all those muscles are relaxed. And you can also bring the shoulder back a little bit and get under the blade. And sometimes you can also just bring the arm back a little more like this and get the blade up a little higher and underneath there. Okay. right above the sacrum. Doing some vibration up, primarily one side of the spine. In that we're on the side, I like to keep it pretty much one-sided and then do the other side rather than crossing over, because the muscles aren't worked on the other side at all. So I stay on this side of the vertebrae. And you can get up farther up into the neck. That's another real nice area to go to. And go slowly up into it. Feel what's happening. That it doesn't look like I'm doing probably much differently on every time I'm going down the spine, but I am moving into a little deeper, and I'm moving into layers that are underneath the top layers of muscles. So the depth is going in a little deeper as the muscles open up for it. And down in here. This is areas that really do get to be painful. And then you can pick up the muscles a little more as they soften. Another place to work into is the rib cage, the intercostal muscles. Just going right along the ribs. So much gets displaced in the abdomen during this process. So it's always nice to keep the structure very fluid and movable so that it will accommodate easier the shifting and changing that's going on with the displacement of the organs. Okay. So it doesn't seem like it's a whole lot, but yet it's quite a bit of stuff that's covered, and it does make a person feel much more relaxed. And then for the second side, we do the same thing. Apply the oil. And start up with the neck and shoulder area. And just getting into those muscles, feeling the tension, where there might be tension, slowly working it into relaxing. And up into the neck, the head. Across the shoulder, the scapula where the bone is, into the teres muscles and the rotator cuff and all those little attachments in there around that shoulder. Remembering that the shoulder is not attached to the skeleton except in the front at the sternoclavicular junction. And so all of this muscle is here to support the movement of the shoulder girdle. So there's a lot of muscles that can get tight and painful. Going into the rib cage here, changing the routine a little bit. And then picking up the muscle along the vertebrae so that it can get a little stretch. The big long support muscle. And then grabbing more muscle. And take it down to the muscle. Don't just pick up skin. That doesn't feel real good. You can also do this in here where we pull the arm back a little and get under the shoulder blade. I don't know if you can see that very well, but okay. And then because I do cranial sacral work is oftentimes at the end of the back, I'll just have my hand at the occipital base and go down right at L5S1 and just give a little stretch in the dural tube here. I'm not on the sacrum, but I'm just above it. And it's with 5 grams or less, interfacing with the dural tube, and then just allowing a little stretch to occur once I'm on that particular structure. And that just gives a nice gentle pull inside of the vertebrae on the dural tube, and it'll also unwind a little bit, so I can feel a little bit of unwinding happening in that tube and a nice stretch that's occurring. Yeah, that's good. She's getting a nice cerebral spinal fluid flowing that direction. Okay. And there's a nice stretch, a deepening and a softening. Quite a bit of movement down in the sacrum. None of that is harmful at all. It's moving on its own. There's no influence from anything other than itself. It's a self-corrective thing. As long as it's done gently, it's fine. Okay, and then bringing, now on this side, because I've already done the other side, I'm also going to come up the vertebrae. And then I'm going to go back down the vertebrae with a little vibration. And then also going between each vertebrae on the way down the spine, not going on the bone, but between the bone. And that is just another really nice thing to relax the muscles and to stimulate a little more blood flow in the area. Give things a little more pliable feeling. Separating and stretching in that direction. Okay, there we have it. Simple care for the back of expected mothers.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psyche Truth channel.
Mm-hmm.